So anyways, as I was saying, prayer to God, communicating with God, conversations with a chosen heart, Israel, conversations with God. Anyways, back to the subject. Everything's free. Gas, land, animals, housing, with animals and veggies and fruit. You know, sharing and caring. Help when we need it. Use the ChosenHeart Family app to connect with others and to share. You know, want your hair did. You know, so you could look good. You know, ladies, men, you know, children. Be able to, you know, share and care, you know, for one another by helping us, you know, keep ourselves looking good. Clothes. The clothes part, Lord, is, you know, whether, you know, we know how to do it or we don't. You know, you help us with the production of it. That way the machines are working. And we can retrieve clothing. And if not, you know, we can customize clothing. You know, and, you know, not affect each other, but just have like a real free world. You know, free gas, you know, animals to share, and not just one type of animal or, you know, just to grow for food in a particular direction, the restaurant. And even if there is restaurants, you know, free, you know, restaurants that are, people can share recipes and share recipes, you know, free food, you know, little store. You know, if you have, you know, your own recipe, you will include it in the store, and people can try it, you know, and get to know whoever recipe it is. Because, you know, those recipes, it's just, I mean, you know, with the help of God, anybody can make good recipes. And they could be very unique and, you know, deers, pigs, you know, cows. You know, the joy of waking up in the morning, get you some fresh milk, cream, eggs, chickies, and so many different ways of just creating and taking away the stress of it all by helping each other. ChosenHeart Family, all together, Hebrew Israelites, you know, free light, free internet, free phone, free gas, you know, free production, you know, voice that serves God. You know, there's only one, so, and you know, the ability just not to argue about it. You know, I mean, I feel like if everything's free, you don't have to argue. You know, no high-powered, you know, like drugs, you know, things that are going to take you to the level that you really don't need to be in. I mean, there's nothing to really search for, really, God. Just communicate, I mean, that's, really. I mean, I smoke weed, but other than that, I'm not going to take it to the other levels where, I don't experience and I don't want to. Anyways, those, I just, taking that off the planet. And guns, I really don't think they're useful. Killing an animal to eat, there might be some type of way that it could be done without guns. And so, women and men, enjoying one another, being happy, and I'm not saying like there's not damaging things that people say, but the fact that people can, have laughter and happiness and speak to each other with, dignity and confidence, but at the same time, respect, and then, if there is like a little spat, be able to, talk about it, rather than use hands or feet, or, loud voices, or, things that cause, even if you do express yourself loud or something like that, but the ability to do it in a way where it's done appropriately. What's appropriate? Express yourself. Express your feelings. But you don't have to hit and, kick and destroy someone with your mouth. And I'm not saying that people don't. At the same time, it's good to try and practice, because sometimes it do take time. It takes time to get that. Sometimes it do. You talk to God, and then it does get better. And then, but if you focus your energy in another direction for a little while, it might cause you to feel feelings that aren't so good, and you express those. So, and no, none of the feelings are like things that we have really. I really do think most of the feelings that were created were made up to cause a little dysfunction. Because everything is supposed to be free. God made everything. The sun, the moon, the stars in the sky, the light, everything around us is made by God. I mean, that's not science. Sure, you want to figure out how something is made, but it's not science. It's all God. There's nothing you can really say at all that is not made by God. And so, so just, I mean, yeah, and then to be able to talk about God freely, without argumentation, God is real, not whether somebody has him or they don't, because I don't believe that exists, because God, they exist, they do, and I do believe that, there is no way to understand everything, but I think the most natural thing to understand is that everything should be free, and is free. And, I went to the store, and I gave the guy the money, and it was like, damn, this paper is like, it is a little, it is a little prison. God made the money, but, going to the store and, getting things like anything really, that, you know, I mean, 9 times out of 10, you probably wouldn't want it, you know, but, you know, but if you wanted it, it'd be in your own backyard. Nobody needs to share, tobacco with everybody, or weed, your own backyard. You don't want your kids finding it, so, something personal for yourself. Other than, hard shit, I don't want to get into them, but, stuff that just doesn't, make you feel good or anybody else around you. And so, wine, I think wine's pretty alright. It's not too bad. It's not gonna make you go crazy, I'm not a real liquor person, but, a little alcohol, not too much, though, make you, like, forget where you at, and cause you to be so out of your mind that you're just non-functioning. But, you got kids around and stuff, and, you don't want to be non-functioning in front of kids, I've seen that before. Anyways, yeah, free world, worldwide, people, if you want to travel, people teaching each other how to fly, no restrictions on borders, no one gets to tell God's people where they can go, no one gets to tell people, how they should live. I know that, there are certain things that people have experienced that they don't like. So that is most certainly things that you talk to God about, and that gets talked about, especially when it's been something that's so episodic in your mind and you just want to shake it so bad, but it's hard to shake sometimes, because of the call in your life and the call on others, to understand that things are free, and there is no lie about it, and that you don't have to wait on the boss to tell you what to do, other than God. Everyone together, understanding this, understanding how to, raise chickens together, raise cows together, bisons together, love one another. I'm not saying love is always 100%. Someone loves you back, or they want to be with you, or, there could be so many different love languages that people speak to one another. One to a friend, one to a family member, one to someone you love, one to your kids, one to God. I don't think there's any other love expression on the planet than I do think there is, but the first one is your dad, and that is the best love expression, because you talk to him about things that you never talk to anyone else about, things that hurt, things that, cause you to dislike, someone or yourself, things that hurt, things to feel confident about, things, sometimes, delving in so much, I don't feel like, I feel like if everything is free and everything is, given to you like God has given us, water, free water, just free water, a way to continue the electricity. It doesn't have to be electric companies It can just, be free, free electricity, free water, things that in the kitchen, things that maybe people have learned to like, but a way to transition out of that, parks that include adult fun and children fun at the same time, where the kids and the adults can socialize and talk to one another. There's so many different things that can be done, and other people can chime in and share their own views on what they want to ask God, and so that we all can share in the joy of it, of your idea or your conversations with God, and how that goes for you may help someone else see something different that I'm unable to talk about because I probably didn't see it that way. I would love to hear other people's conversations with God, and what they amount to, and the similarities, and the differences, because we're all unique and we all have different conversations, and a new language or something that's going to pull us all forward together. Something beautiful. State talk, or country talk, or group talk, but more of God's children talk. We're just God's children. That's it. We're valuable to one another, family and friends, children, parents to children, grandparents, elders. Elders don't have to be in a nursing home, or hospitals, or kids in schools. There could be a whole, other way of seeing, everyone sharing what they've learned with others that God has taught, something that you like, and you just do it naturally because God has given you a gift, and so the things, singing, rapping, it could be anything, art, the beauty of love, children, letting them be who they want to be, without telling them who they're not, speaking life into them, encouraging them, motivating them, cutting out the money talk, cutting out you have to have a job talk, a new conversation. Yes, men and women like each other. They love each other. Some do, some don't. I think that there's a certain way that we should talk about each other. The way we should express love for one another. And I don't feel like it's going to be 100%, but maybe it will be. In a free world, what do you find to argue about? Unless, there is someone who doesn't love you like you think they do, or does love you and, just has a different way of expressing it. Or just has some things that God is still working out in them. And, there's frustrations for one thing or another. And sometimes it just takes time, for him to work on that person, and for that person to, sometimes give in and just talk to God, And it is really healthy. It really is. It's really empowering. I really think it's it's growth that no one else can do. So it's more than maturity. It's love. It's more than thinking that you have to wake up every morning to go to work. It's more than a routine. Let's say, for example, things are running. Grocery stores and things like that. If you go inside the grocery store, most of the stuff is put together by people who probably would much rather have a free world anyways. And they are creating things, but a whole world that is creating on its own, like the creator wants and people want as well. He is the creator. There is nothing that really can be created without him. So even if you, you're creating and he is not with you, I think that's a lie. Because God sees everything and knows everything. Before, after, during, that's the power of God. I think there's beauty to that. I think there's never a moment where you can say that the power of God is not real, or sometimes, there's something, sometimes you gotta learn stuff from God. I don't know how he does that for everyone. But for me in particular, sometimes there's joy, and sometimes there's, moments of clarity that I don't recognize. And it's not always happy. It's not always joy. There's a bit of unhappiness. But I think that's actually from the environment and from the guilt of me feeling like I had to grow up in it. So, that's pretty much that. I don't know why there's guilt, but there's, it feels like, just, for me in particular, just trying to make God happy, and then there's I just want to make myself happy, and then, making myself happy includes everyone and the things I'm saying, and then there's, what is the next move? What is the best route? How do you get everyone to jump in on the bandwagon and, have conversations with God and, make that step forward for themselves to, even start small by grabbing an egg and growing a chickie, showing it to the kids and letting them see the gifts, not just gifts, but, the love that God gave us to give us food, because going to the grocery store every day, you don't get to see the joy of, the Creator giving us food, and then when you use something else to substitute it, like paper that he made, there's other things too that he didn't make on the money itself, so there's different variations of that all throughout the world, and we don't need it, we don't need it. And cars are made by human beings or machines. Nowadays they're made by robots. It's not difficult to get a car made for free if everyone just thought of their own ideas and created their own car. Sure, there's things that many people don't know, but that the joy of life is learning some of those things. Some of the things you like to do, some of the things you don't like to do. But, you shouldn't have to be pressured to go to school or pressured to go to work just to enjoy the love of that, or the joy of that. Or just be the only one and not share and care, the things that you do know so that other people can enjoy it too. It could be if you know how to dance. Teach somebody else. you know how to, do something well, or you want to do something well, or you want to be able to practice at it, or whatever. Go to Maker. He's like right there wherever you are, anyways. So it's not hard. When you talk to people, you have to go and talk to them. You have to, if you, using the phone all the time too, you gotta dial a number and call them up. Or, look them up on Facebook or something, or, it's probably a distance when they're at work or something. So, just being able to relax and chill and, I do like social media a little bit, because, if you at home and you got something you doing and, I'm not at your house. I can't see nothing from my house. So, that's, the joy of that is pretty cool. But the other part of that is being able to experience that, with you, or, sharing that with so many people that to the point where we all know how to do it. So, I think that is love and caring and sharing. And, some things people don't know how to do. But, there's joy in that too, because now you get to help them. So, if you want to, but if you have something that you enjoy doing, maybe you're not social. I guess that's the good part of, the camera. You can share what you like doing, and then, people get to know you, and having communities where we have animals in the community with houses, and on a certain block. I wasn't understanding this quite well, but I was thinking like, all your family all together. That way if you're driving, you know where that family lives. or you just have your friends and family, mixed in together. Or, however that goes, because God is the boss, but, however that goes, because, He has the best design for a community and what that feels like, so, but sometimes you may not always want to, sometimes you just, my family is growing, I'm learning about my family every day, so, there is a space in me that is learning to connect with them all, especially with the environment. With the given environment, being, the distance, work environments and all of those things, that is tiring. I know you're tired. But if you're not like working every day, but you're feeling the experience from someone else, then, you're feeling the effect of it. Especially when there's a vast majority of the land that is being taken up by businesses. And houses are being made in pretty fast, and people are retrieving, loans and things, and and feeling like they have to pay it back and all those things. Talk to God about it. And just say you quit. Just quit. God's going to take care of it. I feel like He will. If everybody just quit paying it and just, stop feeding, stop feeding the, there's something I learned that I mentioned in one of my other videos. But stop feeding the monster. So if you've grown up understanding it, money, just work it out with yourself, because it's not just. God has to help us all. It's like not just one person that can sit and come up with all of it on their own. You talk to God. He's the one who helps you see all of the things around you, and to be able to have a very good connection with those you love, because they're speaking angels. God's angels. We're all God's angels, and even if the person did hurt you, there's something that God did use that person for in your life, and vice versa. Even the children are very smart. There is nothing wrong with anyone at all, whatsoever. There is not one thing that God cannot fix. There is not one little detail. You can open up your, if that's, you can open up any page to a book, Bible, I'm just, if you use an example, and it will be on the perfect page that He wants you to understand or read. It depends on, but God is bigger than everything. So, it depends. God can get you to look at anything and help you understand something very quickly. And it doesn't take but a minute or a second. Not even that, like a millisecond. Splatter the dash second. So, so there's, I think there's more, because living on a so-called farm, by yourself, and then having animals, it's good for people to see how to do it, but then, if you're just in a community with a big-ass 15-acre land, or you got a big-ass piece of land, and you the only one in your family, and it's large, and it's so large that you're taking up a whole lot of space, it's time for you to understand that God made the land, and you're going to have to give it up. There's no way you taking up all the space and you haven't recognized that there is, everyone needs to help each other. And there's no way that we can all sit up in these houses or anything, allow people on the street to sleep on the street. Because everything can be free. Completely free. Like I said, I know that there's been things that people have dealt with, but there should be no reason somebody's on the street, or there should be no reason why anybody's calling anyone crazy, or any type of, this person has something going on because they're experiencing supernatural experiences from God. There should be no reason why a person is talking about mental illness or depression or sadness. There should be none. And I'm not saying that people don't get sad or unhappy or have feelings or emotions, but there should be no reason why you have to call someone something scientific that you have learned. There should be no reason why you have to express it to someone. Let's say, you are describing someone, but you don't have to tell them to take pills or drugs to fix it, because it's not going to work. God is God. He's not a fool. If you're messing with one person, you're messing with God. You're messing with all of us, in a sense. So, we're all family. We're all ChosenHeart Family. And no matter the way you look at it, if you trace somebody's last name or whatever down, we all gonna end up matching up and being family anyway. So it doesn't matter, some, weird way of trying to think into things or figure it out. God is real. Even if you didn't know, He is. And just being productive with taking those first steps to say, I don't want to do this anymore. I do want a free life, and I really do want to live free. And I don't want to keep people in jail or hold them hostage, because stores could be free. Not just stores, human beings that God made. Freedom. Nobody has to steal anything. If everyone is sharing recipes, making them, bagging them, putting it in the store, and it's free, and productively getting their meat cut at a butcher, the local butcher, someone who wants to be there, or someone who wants to be at a free store, someone who wants to be there to socialize, to get to know people, to get to know their family members, surrounding area, talking to people like human beings, using their first name or whatever they choose to be called. I'm Izzy. I'm also called Israel. I'm Israel. Israel, I prefer Izzy. But just, being able to communicate any fear that you feel towards a person or even to God. Any uncomfortability, the ability to express that. But I feel like, once everybody is, joined together and understanding free, and, how to treat people and, to break away from the ideas of a physical church and to see us all as one church, and not to, try to complicate things and, call people names, because everyone has God. There is no, this person doesn't have him or this person does, or more or less. There is no perfection. That's what God just said. There is no perfection. So, and then the fact that, God does talk. And, don't be scared to say He talked to you about something. Don't fear that. It's normal. It's not something that people don't experience. It's pretty cool to feel free to say that. God just told me something. Or I want to share, what God helped me with. Or something, that doesn't make someone feel like, or just because I didn't experience it, it's not real. Sometimes God just has His own timing on how He wants to deal with it and deal with you. So that's just it. I love God. Sometimes they actually, Jehovah and Jesus, they have their own minds. That is the best part. Sometimes I can't. Thinking about Jehovah, that created Jesus. I feel like it's the best thing in the world, because he created God. Just like me and you, but there's a whole nother level of it, that we can't see. That is just so beautiful, And then sometimes, I was just telling God today, I wish it was just someone that we could hear. I could hear Him, but could see and hear. But the whole seeing is believing. He said, but most of us on the planet have not seen God, but you don't know. God said he can, he can appear wherever he wanted to. You would never even know it was God. So, I mean, not as a woman, no. You're most certainly a man. But could, do anything he wanted to. I mean, you could be talking to him right next to you, don't even know it's God. So that's the, I think that's part of the beauty a little bit. Not a whole lot, but a little bit, because, treating everyone with kindness, like they are God's child. But you just never know. God show up. He can do anything and appear any type of way as any human being. Like, he can just do whatever he wants. He might send a dog. I mean, he created dogs. he created animals, like birds, everything, trees, it's amazing. But just, that whole thing, appearing as a human, and you just never know you talking to God for real. Like, not as a woman, but more men. They are men, so, not men, but, the spirit of men. But not with a man's body. So, two kings, actually. Let's just say that. One big king and another king. So, I think it's the coolest thing in the world to talk to God. Because, no, you can't hear him while I'm talking to you. But it's the coolest thing in the world because he's talking. He talks sometimes. Sometimes he don't use his actual words, or they don't use their actual words, like, the voice of God. Sometimes it's just, it's kind of hard to explain, I guess. It's pretty cool, though. So, take time, take that time. Like, if you've been, like, stressing yourself out and just doing things over and over and over and over and over again, and just take that time, like, and talk to God. Like, it's the best thing in the world. And if you see this video, share this video with someone else. I want to hear y'all conversations with God, because it gets beautiful. I do. I want to hear it. And then I want to see us being productive with, everything that God gave us. Free love. Free chargers. Take not all of it. Some of it is harmful. Weapons. Building weapons and, fighting war. Nobody needs that. Nobody needs that. And feeling like you have to defend yourself, and building more weapons. No one needs that, nobody needs that. Everybody wants free, period, that's pretty much it. Free, and we don't need help with our kids. Nobody don't need to tell you what your kid need to do. God has given us parents, and he is our father. They are our fathers. And, they know what to do. You don't know what to do. If you gotta cry, cry. If you gotta yell. Whatever you gotta do, just talk to them. Talk to them. And, don't let your hurt someone else. Pretty much, nobody want to deal with it. It might be someone there to talk to you, but, just, just try your best. That's the best thing you can do. Anyways, have a good day, ChosenHeart Family. Good night, right now.